Hello and welcome to another Tax and Legal Debrief session. I'm Milto Phanti, Director in the Tax and Legal Department of Deloitte Cyprus, specializing in global employer services. Today, we will provide an overview of the new tax incentives offered to individuals taking up employment in Cyprus. The new tax incentives were introduced as part of an overall strategy of the government to attract businesses and talented individuals from abroad. Let's now see the new income tax exemptions in more detail. As from 1st January 2022, 50% of the remuneration of employees whose first employment in Cyprus began as from 1st January 2022 and onwards is exempt from income tax for a period of 17 years. The exemption applies provided that the employee's remuneration per year exceeds 55,000 and the employees were not tax resident of Cyprus for a period of at least 10 consecutive years immediately prior to the commencement of their employment in Cyprus. It is important to note that individuals whose employment began before 1st January 2022 may also qualify for the new 50% exemption, but subject to conditions. According to the amending law, it is clarified that for each individual, the exemption will apply once in their lifetime for a period of 17 years, starting from the tax year of commencement of their first employment in Cyprus. The period of 17 years starts to count from the month of employment in Cyprus. It is also clarified that the commencement of first employment exercise in Cyprus is when an individual first performs salary services in Cyprus for a resident or non-resident employer, but without taking into account any full-time or part-time occasional employment in Cyprus for a period not exceeding a total of 120 days in a tax year. The exemption is granted for any year in which the remuneration for employment in Cyprus exceeds 55,000, regardless of whether in any tax year the remuneration is reduced below 55,000, provided that in the first or in the second year of employment in Cyprus, the remuneration exceeded 55,000 per annum. Individuals taking up their first employment in Cyprus after 26 of July 2022 and onwards, and who do not qualify for the 50% exemption, they may be eligible for the 20% exemption or for 8,550, whichever is the lower, on their employment income exercised in Cyprus. The exemption applies for a maximum period of 7 tax years, starting from the tax year which follows the year of commencement of their employment in Cyprus. To qualify for this exemption, employees immediately prior to the commencement of their employment in Cyprus should have been employed outside of Cyprus by a non-Cyprus tax resident employer for a period of at least 3 consecutive years. Even though the new exemptions are broader in scope than the previous one, uncertainty remains as to their practical application, and so individuals need to carefully assess for which exemption they are entitled to. Guidance is, however, expected from the Cyprus Tax Department to clarify the practical issues, so keep an eye for our next Tax and Legal Debriefs.